In this video, we are going to be analysing SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF. Now, this is a bonus video. We only do 3 a day usually, but today I did want to do a 4th because it just provided so many trading opportunities. And again, if you were in the Discord, we did actually post this in there. If I quickly pull it up, you can see, I believe it was under interesting section, and you can see exactly one of the trade ideas was posted in here. I did leave out the PPI trade just because I know a lot of you are more stock traders and it's harder to trade on the stock front unless you have access to a futures account. But we will go over it here so you can start observing it, and if you have access or a way to kind of trade it, again, you can trade it on SPY, but it's whether you want to be trading in the out of the proper trading hours. So where did the trading opportunity come? So for the first one, actually, I'll quickly just go over to the ES because I don't have after hours data selected on these 1 minute charts or the intraday minute charts. But what you can see, big move, 8:30. Why was this? Again, always be looking at the economic calendar. It's always in the Discord, or you can always just find it on a site like Forex Factory. And again, PPI came out, usually a fade trade. What do we mean by this? It means you play against the direction. So PPI came out. We also had New York Manufacturing, also known as Empire State Manufacturing. Again, both of these tend to be more of a fade. When they come out together, it's a bit harder to trade because direction may stay in a bit longer. But overall, we know it's more likely going to be a fade trade. So again, we did actually trade this live. You can go and check the live stream and what our analysis was and how we were looking to trade it. Again, I did actually get an early entry in this. I did say in the stream, look to fade it. So as we were spiking up on the 1 minute, I was looking to fade it. I think we got our first entry at around 4,030. Now it continued up. What I did also say was 5 minutes tends to be, if it plays a direction, 5 minutes tends to be that reversal zone. So we know if it closed after 5 minutes and it's starting to pull back, now it's most likely that's the peak and we're going to fade down. And again, we said that as soon as this red candle closed within the 5 minutes, that's now our stop loss, and we are continuing to look to play the fade. And that's exactly what happened. See, we filled or kind of fade back to this level at around 11 o'clock. Now we retested this breakthrough, and that's where it really sunk off. Again, that's a different trading opportunity. That was a main one on the news release, PPI, and again, manufacturing state, but the main focus was PPI for that trade. Now, what was the other trading opportunity? Now, SPY. This was the trading opportunity. This was the one that we did actually focus on, was put on Discord. Made 1100 on that in about 30 seconds. How did we do that? What was it? SPY closed yesterday 395. Now that's important to note, and also where was yesterday's high? 400. Now I saw it was gapping up again. I always be paying attention to the futures. I could see it was gapping up, or it was up in the pre-market session. And so if SPY opens above yesterday's high, or again opens below yesterday's low, what you know is a lot of stops are going to trigger. So this is always important to note because again, it can be an easy trade. If you know we are opening above $418, which was yesterday's high, as soon as you open, you know a lot of stops are going to trigger, so you're going to get a blip. Again, this is a scalp trade, not a trend trade, a scalp trade. So we look to be in and out within about 10 to 30 seconds. And what did we see? We opened up 401.17 above yesterday's high. Stops are going to trigger. It's going to spike. It went up. Again, not a massive move, maybe a point or so. But again, how are you trading this? I trade it through options. So again, moved 76 cents. That can be a very easy trade, especially if you're over on the option side. So you can see, again, especially on SPY, you get daily expiries. So all you had to do was look at the zero close. As soon as they opened up, go on the call side, all you had to do, I mean, literally had the order ready. I knew they would have about a $1 to $5 spread. Look to trade that, to get out as soon as it spikes up. Again, they moved so much, and I want to just show you this because I can show you the how the options moved intraday. And this will just show you how much the options can move. Yes, it may not be great to trade on SPY, and again, this is why I say sometimes it's not better. I like to trade stocks. Stocks is my main focus. But if you're looking to trade kind of news releases, it can be a lot better to either trade the options or the futures. And especially things like this, I do actually kind of prefer trading the futures. This is one of the rare times I will trade kind of a news release or kind of more of a fundamental trade like this. through options, just because I know I can quickly scalp it and I can get the most kind of leverage and the most profit off trading in options. But again, these are things you learn in time, you get from your own observations. But what happened with this contract, it was to $374 or $72 a contract. It spiked up all the way to $4.40, so $440 in the space of a minute. That contract moved over 70% within a minute. So yes, it only moved 70 cents on the SPY. Through the options, it moves a lot more. And again, that's how knowing how to trade in different ways is really important. It's not just focusing on how does the actual underlying move. If you know the underlying is going to move, but maybe it's not enough to make a lot of money unless you've got a massive account, how can you leverage it? Are you going to be getting tons of it on margin, which again may be possible, but then your fills might be quite bad? Or can you literally go in with a few options contracts? Can you make massive premiums on that? In this case, yes. Or is it something, if you have access to a futures account, can futures be the optimal way to trade it? Again, it's not always being good fixated on one thing. It's not always good just being fixated on, say, stocks or ETFs or just options or just futures. You got to optimize. That's why you'll see when we do these analysis videos, never am I just talking about one asset class. If you go back a week, we'll maybe talking about an options trade. You come to when we're trading the news, maybe we're focusing on the futures. And then when I'm saying maybe I'm looking to trade a resistance level on an individual stock, again, that might be an options only trade, or it might be as an actual stock trade, buying the underlying share. Again, different ways to trade different things. It's good to learn how to trade different products because they can really increase your profitability and also limit downside. Again, we knew it was going to spike because stops were getting filled. If for any reason it sunk on the open and we got tons of SPY shares on margin, if that fell 50 cents, we could have been a massive loss. But trading it through an option, I know, okay, even if I buy 5 contracts, the max you can risk is 1,500, even if it went, as far as it could against you. But in reality, are you going to lose that much on it? No, because yes, they expired today, you're buying ones near the money. So even if it falls 50 cents, cool, you might lose 20, 30%. A bit like the kind of upside we were looking at. But again, that's manageable. Cool, you can lose $300 on that trade. Is that going to have a massive effect? Not really, especially when you're looking at the upside you have on it. So again, that was the other trade opportunity. Definitely be looking out for these. Whenever you open up above yesterday's high or low, you tend to see a quick move. But again, it's a 30-second trade. Now, what other trading opportunities were there today? And kind of the key one was, again, the fade. So we knew we were going to fade back to this level. This is what we were looking for. But once we broke this level, again, a big sell-off. Now, when you start seeing this selling pressure kick in, again, this can provide the trading opportunity. And how do you really know if the selling pressure is kicking in? Really, the thing's going to be volume. So if we go only to today, I might even just have that as an option. There we do. So we can see, how did the volume look? Obviously, opening candle is always going to be massive volume. But you can see, obviously, quickly declines, coming into about 30 minutes into the open. That's where you'll then tend to hover for the day. And that's why you can make most of your money within the first 30 minutes if you're more of a day trader. But now what did we start seeing? So we can see, around here, this was kind of the higher volume we kept hitting. As soon as we broken through, or we faded back through this level, we come back for that retest. I actually retested it twice, and then you suddenly see this. You suddenly see volume spike. When did it start to spike? Once we've done that retest, we've broken that intraday low again, and now we're starting to sell off. This can be a good indication that we are staying weak, and again, play direction. So again, these are just things to observe, even if you don't feel comfortable trading these kind of moves. Again, I did actually kind of miss this. This is when I was away. Obviously, I'm in the UK at the moment, so I was going to eat dinner at this time. Come back, I've seen the move, but again, this was actually one of the scenarios I was looking at. And again, just things. Doesn't matter if you miss it. Maybe look for it next time, or even if you don't want to trade it, just start observing it. Because if you start understanding direction, even if you don't want to trade it, maybe you're in a position, and again, the SPY or the S&P is going to affect the overall market. If you're in shares, maybe okay, if it breaks here, maybe I want to cut out or at least move stops on some of my long positions. Again, it's just understanding how markets move, especially if you're in the stock market. It's one of the harder ones to trade because you're not looking at 10 products like you are if you're on the FX or you're trading bonds or something like that. You got 2,000 or even more products to be focusing on. You know news is going to have a big impact. You know how the overall market is reacting and is going to have impacts on individual stocks. So it's really important to be knowing how these move and how they can provide trading opportunities, or at least give you exit opportunities. So again, volume is important on things like this. You start seeing volume spike, can be a good idea to start playing direction. And again, where's your target going to be? Usually, if I don't have a standard deviation level, and again, how do I get that? Usually I'm looking at the long terms. I can see, okay, there's no levels really to trade to around here. So what can I do instead? I'll just be looking at it as a day trade. I mean, that's kind of what it was anyway. What's going to be your target? You can see, I can actually delete this. What is this dashed line here, and what is this red line? This was yesterday's close, this was yesterday's low. Usually that can be a good target. And again, provided upside, or again, if you're just playing direction, you don't know how far it's going to go. Again, there was no really news released on this kind of thing. Actually, might have been the Fed meeting, or there is a Fed meeting and a G20 meeting today. Or not a Fed meeting, but a Fed speaker and also the G20. So it might have actually been on that kind of news, and it may not just be a straight technical one. But either way, play the direction. Again, as soon as you start seeing a volume decrease, again, what was clear? We start getting multiple closes below this kind of volume break. What do you see? That is kind of where the move ended. Obviously, you're never going to be able to capture the whole move. You're never going to be able to close out at the bottom. It's just not going to happen. These could have been good targets, or if you wanted to wait for that volume decline, we started getting it in this area here. So again, you still would have made the bulk of the move, but again, you're never going to get the whole 100% of the move. It's just very unlikely. Maybe you'll get it a few times in your whole career, but getting it to the cent, to the kind of break and to the target, never really going to happen, very rare. But it's instead just observing how these moves happen. How can you find trading opportunities, or how can you protect yourself knowing this kind of stuff if you were taking other trades? Anyway, that is the breakdown. Did just kind of want to show you some trading options. If you did enjoy it, why not drop a like and subscribe. Hope to see you next one, and that's it. Peace.